Welcome back. We have a super fun song to go through today. Misirlou was Dick Dale's biggest hit. It was originally released in 1962, but thanks to being included in the Pulp Fiction soundtrack in the 90s, it had a bit of a resurgence. Not a lot to know about this song in terms of performance because there's no bends going on, no vibrato, no lead really of any kind. It's just all in the pick hand. It's going to be a lot of alternate picking. It's going to be tough to get that stamina if you're not used to alternate picking for this long, but other than that, that's the only hurdle. It's a pretty easy song to comprehend and to start practicing. So here we go. So to perform this song, you're really going to want to get comfortable with 16th notes. 16th notes are 4 notes a beat, and they're counted as 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda, and that's going to be alternate picking, especially for this song because it's pretty fast. So that's going to sound like this: 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. And what Dick Dale did was he primarily based his lines off of a straight 16th sort of feel, but then he just started mixing and matching different rhythmic feels. So 2 other rhythms that you're going to want to get very comfortable with is one that sounds like this. And you count that as 1 enda, 2 enda, 3 E and 4 E enda. And if we speed that up, it'll sound like this. Okay, and the next rhythm that you really want to get comfortable with is virtually the same. Just instead of a gap between our first note and the next one, we're going to fill it in. So instead of beat 1 being this, 1 enda, we're going to have beat 1 as straight 16th notes, 1 E enda. So it's going to sound like this: 1 E enda, 2 enda, 3 E and 4 E enda. Okay? If you master straight 16th notes and then those 2 other rhythms, you're in very good shape to have some good fun with this track. Now, let's get into learning the track. We start with a 2-measure pickup into the main melody, and that pickup starts with a slide, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just a random slide. Start on the 17th fret and just slide down and then do that rhythm that I just showed you: 1 enda, 2 enda, 3 E and 4 E enda, and do that twice, 2 measures of that. Okay, and then we get into our main melody. Our main melody is going to outline these notes. Okay, so that's open, 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 11, 8, 7. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1. And then that's going to repeat. So now that we have our notes for our melody figured out and where we're going to change them, let's fill it in with some rhythm. 1 enda, 2 and 3 E enda, 4 E enda, 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda, 1 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda, 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda. Okay, a little complicated, I know. Let's slow it down and break it down. So 1 enda, 2 and on the 1st fret, 3 E enda on the 4th fret, moving up to the 5th, 4 E enda up to the 7th, 1 E enda, 2 E enda, go up to the 11th, 3 E enda, 4 E, and hit an open string in there. And then it's just going to be 2 solid measures of straight 16th notes. Okay, so you're banging away straight 16th notes on the 7th fret. And then for the last 2 beats for that slide, your hand is picking 16th notes. You're not changing what this hand is doing, but it's just a slide as you're staying in time picking 16th notes. So you want to do a 3 E enda, 4 E enda, and then arrive back on your open string. And then you just repeat that melody. Okay, the second time you don't do that slide though. And then we're going to get into the next part of that, and it goes like this. Okay, so this is a little figure that repeats a lot throughout the song too as he falls down in the melody. It's going to occur more than once, so it's worth really wrapping your head around this specific picking pattern. So 1 and 2 E and And then we go 3E enda, 4E enda. And then that picking pattern repeats as we go from the 7th to the 5th. Okay, so that you can just repeat that same pattern. And then you're going to want to get that open E in there again quick. It sounds pretty cool when it's in there. Okay, and then you can just repeat on when you hit that 4th fret, just repeat that rhythm that I showed you at the very beginning. 1E enda, 2 enda, 3E and 4E enda, and do that twice, except that on the second measure, you're gonna hit another on beats 4, you're gonna go 4 and. 1E enda, 2 enda, 3E and, 4E enda, 1E enda, 2 enda, 3E and, 4 and. And then we're gonna skip back up to the 7th fret. So we're going to do a rhythmic figure that's very similar to what we just did as we were falling down the string before. 1E enda, 2E and, 3E and, 4E and, 1 enda, 2E and, 3 triplet. So those are, we end on with a quarter note triplets. So it's 3 notes over the space of 2 beats. So if you're not used to those, it might take a little getting used to, but it's not too bad. So that last little bit is going to look like this. And just end it on that low E string, 1 and a 2 and a 3E and nothing on beat 4. You want to pause it because then we slide down the high string and just do that whole melody section all over again, except on the high E string instead. So let's just play through that main melody one more time on the low string, and then we'll talk about the rest of the song. So that was the main melody played slow. I hope that's helpful for you. And then, as I mentioned before, you just do the exact same stuff just on the high string. So to get into that though, there's another slide where he bars the 2 high strings at the 11th fret and just does a slide down while picking 16th notes again. Very surf sound there. And then just get into the main melody. Just like that. Then the whole thing is the exact same as what we just played, except for at the very end, he does away with those quarter note triplets and puts this last little bit into time. So you go 1 and a 2 E and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and that's just based off of an E chord where you snag the 2 high strings, the low string, and then the high strings again. 1, 2 and that's it. And you'll notice I put my fingers here. That's just to keep those other strings that aren't supposed to be ringing from. It just keeps it cleaner so that they don't start sympathetically ringing. Okay, and then we get into a chordal section. So I'll play you through the next section and then we'll talk about it. So that's the chordal bit starting at about 48 seconds into the song. Now I was just playing the overall implied rhythm of the song, but you can have some fun with it and kind of play along with the horns there, like he plays that for 2 measures. right? You could make it sound like that. But you just have some fun with it. But I just wanted to play through so that you get the gist of what the recording is like. So the chords that we're going to do is an A minor bar chord. These are all bar chords. So we've got along the 5th fret, we have 5, 7, 7, 5, 5, 5. And then that rhythm is 1, 2, and 4, and. So you're just going to miss the strings on beat 3. 1, 2, and 4, and. Right? And if you wanted to do that horn rhythm that I was showing, then it would be like, you do a little abrupt note where you're going to release the strings to get and drop your hand just to mute the strings. 1, 2, and 4. 1. So it's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, and then we're just going to do 2 measures on A minor, move down to a G, so just go down to the 3rd fret, do the same chord, but we're going to drop our 2nd finger to make it a major. And do that for 2 measures, drop it down to F, do that for 2 measures, and then just slide down, instead of rearranging your fingers, just slide down to an open E. Okay, and then we're going to get into so this rhythm is so we're just going back and forth between 2 chords to finish this off, the F and the E. And then we're going to get into the next section. Let's go over that. This next melody section comes in at about 1 minute and 10 seconds into the track. And you're really going to want to be familiar with that rhythm that we talked about way back at the beginning. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 E and a. That's going to get you through this section. There's a lot of that going on. So we start on the 5th fret and do that rhythm. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 and. So you're going to go down to the 4th fret and back up to the 5th. And then do that rhythm on the 7th fret. 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and a 3 E and 4 and. So then you go back to the 5th on beat 4, 4 and back up to the 7th. So that first 4 measures is going to look like this. Then we go up to the 8th fret and do that same rhythm. But you only do 1 measure of that. And go down to the 7th on beat 4, 4 and then up to the 11th. You'll stick your pinky out here. And just go 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and then 2 measures on the 12th fret with that rhythm. Okay, so that whole thing is going to look like this now. And then we get into the next half of this melody section. We go. So that's 1 E and, or we start on the 13th fret. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So 13, 12, 13, 12, 10. And you can play around with these rhythms too. You could make it a little bit more the same old as we've been doing by going. Right, and then that just becomes the same sort of rhythm as we were doing. And then you're going to do the same thing on 12 and 10. And then down to the 7th fret. All right, so there's 8 to the 7th fret. So 2 measures of that same rhythm again with a 4 and on the end of those 2 measures. And then we come back up to the 10th and 8th frets. Okay. So we got quarter note triplets in there again. So we go. So you're going to go 7, 4, 7. On beat 3, there's a, and then down to the first fret, and then you just do that rhythm again that we've been going over, and you just do that for 2 measures. And then we get into another little chordal passage. There's 6 measures of all an E chord, and he just kind of mixes it up. He does a little rhythm just to accent along with what the horns are doing again there at that section. And you just do that for 6 measures. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then you get into the main melody and it repeats that main melody again. And then we get into the last little bit of the song. And that last section is again just all on an E chord. It's just a funky little rhythm on an E chord. And the primary rhythm is this. And that's how he goes out. So to get into that though, you end off that main melody section as. So. Okay, so you go 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and so that's all on E except on beat 4. You're just going to do a little pull off here with these 2 fingers. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and you just do that for a few measures and then end it. If you were performing it live, you could have the band play that as long as you really wanted to, and then you just look at each other and you're done, right? It's a cool track. It's really going to whip your picking hand into shape, so take your time with it and have fun. Don't forget to subscribe. I've got a lot more full songs coming your way, as well as theory and technique, so you don't want to miss any of that. I'll see you next time.